Happy Palm Sunday, everyone. And I think you realize it just as I do. Something is a little bit different about this day. Not only that we begin our Mass in a different way, begin it in a different spot, and if we were able to, we would have even began it in a different building, possibly. Now, why is it different? In fact, not only this liturgy is different, but the liturgies we celebrate throughout the Holy Week, the Triduum, as it's called, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, they are different. And that difference calls out a fact that something great is being done. It often happens in the liturgies of the church. When something different happens, let's say, for example, something happens after the homily, usually a sacrament. Something is happening. In this case, it's Holy Week. In this case, the highest feasts of the year are taking place for us who are Catholics. And we have to make sure that we enter into this week. We have to enter into these liturgies, into this final stage of preparing for the celebration of Easter. For without the death, the passion of Jesus Christ, the joy of Easter cannot happen. Without the carrying of the cross, without all those things that we just heard about in our gospel, the joy of the resurrection does not come about. For us, what does it mean? It's an example of our life, too, in a different way. We go about our lives of faith, sometimes in quiet and peace. Not everyone in the world around us will be celebrating Holy Week this week. Not everyone in the world around us will be celebrating Holy Week in the same way as we Catholics. And yet we celebrate it anyways, and we enter into it. Yeah, there's some fasting. Yeah, there's some standing longer for a gospel. Little sufferings that we can take on in order to better unite ourselves to that mystery of the passion, death, and resurrection. Okay, so what does it mean? We're entering into Holy Week. We start with Palm Sunday. We take those palms that remind us of the branches. Jesus' triumphant entrance into Jerusalem. Something different. Something that hadn't happened in centuries in Jerusalem. Not since the time of King Solomon entering into Jerusalem. Something is different. And later this week, we, as Catholics, celebrate the Chrism Mass. I don't know how many of you have been to the Chrism Mass. It only is one Mass, and it is celebrated at the cathedral. Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock. If you have never been, I invite you, if you are able, to go. It's a beautiful experience. The bishop, many of the priests, and then the whole entire people of God from throughout the diocese, gathered together in that mother church of our diocese, St. Joseph's Cathedral. And the bishop blesses and consecrates the oils over there near the baptismal font that we use throughout the year for the sacraments, to baptize, to anoint the sick, and to confirm. These oils symbolize our faith, the sacraments, blessed by the bishop so that God may use these things to bring about our holiness and our growth in faith. And at that Mass, it's a memorial of all of us, all of the faithful, made holy through God working in the world and in our lives. Holy Thursday, we celebrate that Mass of the Lord's Supper, that celebration of the institution of the Holy Eucharist, that which is our spiritual food, that which is what nourishes us, what feeds us. And then Holy Friday. Well, even before that after Holy Thursday, we bring the Eucharist, Jesus, to the altar of repose in a different place. And we're with the Lord in the garden, spending some time with Him. Are we awake? Or are we falling asleep again and again in our lives? We celebrate Good Friday, that time of entering into the actual Passion, a time of celebrating. Celebration is a strange word to use on that day, that death of Jesus and the mystery of the cross, the sign of our salvation, the sign of our God's great love for us, but also a sign of death. We ourselves have entered into that death with the Lord through our baptism. And the next day, we rise to life with Him anew, with joy, with celebration. Now, brothers and sisters, we just heard that story, and we cut off right at that point, awaiting the Lord's coming again, coming back to life. And so too may our faith be renewed by going through Holy Week, praying through Holy Week this year.